Take it away, Shiraz.
Hello, folks. I'm Kimberly Crow, not Shiraz, but that's all right. I'm here interviewing Courtney Lyons, our amazing co-host of this incredible summit, the Wealthy Healer Summit. If you guys have been having fun today, put hashtag I'm a wealthy healer in the chat box and let us know. Give us some love. Show us that you're here. Use your fingers because we're using our voices and trying to share with the world some amazing stuff. And we would love to hear back from you. So put it in the chat box, hashtag I'm a wealthy healer. Courtney, I am super honored to be able to interview you today. There's a lot of really cool things happening in this session. And today, now we're going to talk about really your key message, which is all about technology and automation. So talk to us a little bit about the tools that we aren't using that we need to take advantage of.
All right. So I think what I'd like to do, what I find so often happens for me with clients is that they come in and they have a list of subscriptions that they're paying for every month. And sometimes when I get through those lists, I'm like, man, you're paying for the same service like 3 or 4 times. And do you want to save $200 or $300 and not do that? Let's just get you familiarized with one tool, or make sure that you're choosing the tool that works for you at all times. So I was hoping that today we were just going to have a little bit of a chat of things that people use for technology in their business, questions they have about, things and which technologies to use. And then I want to share a couple of my, what I just consider are really good tools to use. So I'm allergic to monthly fees. I don't like them.
Me too. Who knew?
I find, I love technology. So I get caught down the rabbit hole of, oh, look what this cool program to do. And then I end up with that screen where it's like $19.99 a month. This one's $29.99 a month. And I'm like, wow, like I would have to work a lot more and have a lot more clients just to pay for my technology addictions right now. And it's not cool, right? So what I would say that my favorite, thing that I discovered maybe about 1.5 years ago was the website called Appsumo.com. And just one second, I'll get
Love Appsumo. I am addicted to Appsumo.
Oh my God, I don't blame you in any way at all, because it changed what I could do for my clients, and it changed what I could do for myself as well when I started to use Appsumo, because there are so many different things that we are doing and we are paying for each month. And with Appsumo, what they do is they take new programs, new developers, new business owners who have developed some sort of technology. And they say, here, we've got this really passionate, like Kimberly, right? We have this really passionate community of people who are like wanting good deals, and they're willing to, try out some new software.
So let me just pause you, because I want to make sure that we put your links in the chat box. Would you just like me to type that one in the chat box, or did you have a link for us?
Oh, I have a link for you. Just one second. I'm going to load it up on my computer. I don't think I had that one quite ready, unfortunately.
No worries. I can put it in the chat box, but if you have an affiliate link for it, I wanted to be sure to put that one in there instead.
I absolutely do.
Okay, great.
And that's a wonderful part of being with Appsumo. Okay, so here's the Appsumo link. And so the reason why I love Appsumo so much is because there's no monthly fees. It is a one-time purchase when you're purchasing this software. So you're taking a bit of a gamble because it's a new software. Maybe it's not what you'd like. However, they have an amazing return policy if you're like, oh, this is not what I wanted.
So can I just clarify what Appsumo is? Because it's not actually a software itself. What Courtney is talking about is a shopping place where you can go to buy lots of different software programs that can solve lots of problems that you may have as an owner, but you pay a one-time fee and you own the software forever. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. Yeah. And a lot of the time with products, what they'll do is they'll set up different levels that you can pay into. So maybe you could pay into a tier 1, which has, let's say if it's an email program, you get 5,000 contacts with tier 1, but tier 2, you're going to get 10,000. It's going to move up depending on how much you invest in the software. So I think I fell in love with Appsumo the very first time when I found TidyCal. Because before TidyCal, me and my clients, we were paying between $12 to $20 a month for a scheduling software like Calendly or Acuity Scheduler. And then I found TidyCal, and I'll put the link in the chat. Okay, I have to tell you, when I bought it, it was a better steal because it was $19, but at $29, it's still a pretty good steal. So what it is you pay $29 And it's a one-time fee. And then you end up with a scheduling program that's very similar to Calendly. So you can connect your calendars, you can have a link, people can book times, you can accept payments, and it will send out reminder emails. So these are all the features that you wanted in something like Calendly or Acuity Scheduling, but it's instead of paying, $12 to $20 a month, you're paying $29 one-time fee. So I know whenever I found that, I was like to all of my clients, hey, do you guys want to take a look at this, look at these features and see, is this something that's going to support you really well? So I definitely felt like that was something that almost every entrepreneur, like the moment you start a business, someone should send you an email to be like, Appsumo exists. Have you checked it out yet? because
That should be a thing. Like it's like a, new company is emerging, like as a birth certificate. Also, you get like, go check out Appsumo, but it's going to be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So Appsumo, I mean, some of the deals that you will find on Appsumo, they're limited time. So they're going to be up there. They're going to introduce it. It's going to be promoted for about a month and then it's over. You can't get that deal again. Some of them like TidyCal are there every day and, you can continue there. I think they're going to increase the price slowly over time. So you want to jump in there at the price that it's at. I'm just trying to think of some of the ones because they're deals that are only for a limited time. You do have to go to the website kind of often. You have to check it out every once in a while. You have to have the personal, I guess you could say, I don't know what you just can't buy everything. A lot of the time when I have clients.
Discipline, is that what you were looking for? A little discipline.
They will always say, it was such a good site. Thank you for telling me about that. But I had to quit going because I would buy everything I would see on the site. And I was like, that is not what my intention was when sending you there.
That's right. So I've gotten some really good things. The calendar apps are really good. There are quiz builders on there that are really powerful. There are CRMs that you can buy, entire CRMs that you can buy through there. I actually got access to Hey Summit for the very first time through Appsumo. So the program that we're operating this summit on was actually through Appsumo. I was one of their early adopters, and it was a screaming deal when I got it. Not so much anymore, but it was good when I got it.
No, I know a couple months ago, one of my first, big investments on Appsumo was a program called InCharge.io, and it's going to come up as kind of a new replacement, I think, for Active Campaign because it's so powerful in everything that it did. Within a month of me purchasing it and falling in love with it, it started to win awards for the best marketing software that was out there this year. So the fact that I had my clients upgrade too, but I had some clients who were paying, $120 to $150 a month for their list at Mailchimp. And that was every month. And I got them over to to InCharge. It was better. It was easier to use. It had more capabilities. And they paid a one-time fee of $120 or something like that ever. It's been a year. They have more than gotten their investment back. And, they just couldn't be happier with how the program's working.
I love it. Keep going.
No, I'm trying to think about how best, if you guys in the audience have any questions about technology, about softwares that you're using in your business, anything that you need to understand a little bit, because what I'd like to talk about now is that I find a lot of the time the basic understanding. So a lot of the time as a business owner, you want your VA to handle majority of the stuff that you have with your technology. You may not want to be sending out the emails yourself. You don't want to be scheduling things. But what I think is important to have is a basic understanding of the different types of softwares that you're going to use in your business. So that you have that overlap, right?
I think that would be great. So I would love to talk about CRMs. I would love to talk about maybe funnel builders, maybe quiz programs. And then as we go through the different categories, people can maybe put in the chat what they have, and maybe you can give some recommendations and give some thumbs up or thumbs downs. Hopefully no thumbs downs to anything anybody already has. But there's goods and bads about everything depending on what stage you're in. Can we start with CRMs?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so I've heard about a couple of CRMs, like on the low end, I've heard of like Mailchimp and things like that, or even just being able to use a spreadsheet. So as you're beginning, that might be a good one. And then as you're moving forward, I think there's mid ranges like Active Campaign and some other ones maybe. And then there's, if you guys have a CRM that you're using or thinking about, put it in there. Maybe Kajabi is in there. And then you have like the canon of it, which is Infusionsoft, which is also nicknamed Confusionsoft, which is a really powerful tool that has a lot of bells and whistles, but most of us don't understand them. So can you go a little bit through maybe the CRMs? And if you have a CRM, put it in the chat box and we'll have Courtney give her opinion on it.
yeah. So a CRM is just a customer relationship management tool, right? So what you want, and there's a couple different ways to look at it. In essence, any CRM must have a place where you're putting your contact information or all of your clients' contact information, who's on the mailing list, and hopefully you're getting some feedback of what they're doing. Are they opening these emails? Are they visiting these websites, right? So in basics, those are the tools that you want because you really just want those contact details. You could have a spreadsheet. In fact, you could probably Google, Google Sheets template CRM, and I'm sure that a list will come up and you can literally just input that information there. And that could be your customer relationship management, right? That's that. Now, you get levels. So a lot of the programs will have Mailchimp, MailerLite, Sendinblue. They have what you would call like a free tier level. So they kind of get you hooked in on their software, and they say, okay, so you can have up to 1,000 contacts or 2,000 contacts in this, and then after that, we're going to start charging you. And they're good. Mailchimp, I've used it a lot in the past, and I think they've got a generous free program. I think that they've been really well established. And I think a great thing about when a company has been well established is that you're then able to get a lot of free resources if you have any problems on the internet, right? If a company's no one's ever heard of, there's not YouTube videos walking you through how to add this contact or how to do this. But if it's popular, well, then you've got all of these resources. You've probably got a couple of Facebook groups you can join in case there's ever any questions, that sort of thing. So Mailchimp, I think it wins that it has some really great followings. It's been very established, and they've got a generous free program. The big problem that I have with Mailchimp, and it's with a lot of programs, it's not just Mailchimp, but you get to the point where you've got your 2,000 contacts, you've hit your limit, and the jump is then all of a sudden, $100 a month or $60 or $70 a month at least, and for my clients who have maybe been building their list to get to that 2,000 for a year or maybe even longer, and then suddenly the same program is costing them so much, and it's a hard pill to swallow. What I like on Appsumo, and it may not fit everyone's, but I just want to let you guys know it's out there. It's called SendFox. Okay. And it's a
I like SendFox. Yeah.
It's like, it's basic, it's simple. It doesn't involve, it's not an active campaign in terms of all the features and bells and whistles, but it's $49 one-time fee. You get 5,000 contacts. I think it has even this little cool automation where it will send out your blog posts and your social media things every week automated. So it's got some cool little features to it, but in my opinion, like the number one thing that you want to know about SendFox is that it's $49 for 5,000 contacts for life. And when I'm saying things like $60 or $70 a month for Mailchimp, and that's only for 2,500 contacts, you can start to see how, if you're building your list, SendFox is definitely the right thing to be looking at if it's going to fit your needs. Yeah, the Kajabi. I think I want to talk just for a little bit about the Kajabi because I actually really like, okay. Infusionsoft, yeah, I've heard it's powerful. I know it's quite pricey, and I know that there's just such a learning curve involved that people, they tend to shy away from it, and they don't really get what they're paying for because they just can't get those features working really well. Kajabi, I think, kind of meets it in the middle. It's not as high end. It is all-in-one, because all-in-one softwares are like a huge thing lately, right? Because we don't want 18 billion logins. So let's get one all-in-one. And I think in terms of an all-in-one, Kajabi's out there and it's doing some really good stuff. But I also think that Kajabi, it's expensive. It's another sort of thing where what I find with my clients is like, it doesn't have, and I think they might be upgrading it. So I don't want to say they don't have it now, but up until a few weeks ago, they didn't have SMS text messaging. So even though it was an all-in-one, I could see how my clients were like, oh, I've got this all-in-one, but then I also have this one and this one and this one to do all of the things the all-in-one didn't quite get to. And I think that's important to be able to understand when you're choosing a software. Is it important to have just one login? And if so, can you find a program that's doing absolutely everything to be able to fulfill that for you? Yeah.
All right, so that's CRMs. If you have a CRM that we missed that you want to discuss, throw it in the chat box and we'll be glad to get Courtney's opinion on it. Let's move to funnel software and sales cards. Please say my favorite one. Before we move there, Minda said, yes. So Minda said groove.com. Any comments on groove.com?
To be honest, I have to claim complete ignorance of groove.com. I don't think I've encountered it at all.
Yep, it's a newer one. Parts of it are free, parts of it are paid. You can get bolt-ons to it. It's new. So advantages, free. Disadvantages, you don't have that YouTube support, right? When I bought something and it was brand new and free and I was like, wait, how does this work? You can't just go to YouTube and be like, how does this work? How do I set up a mail campaign in blah, 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 right? And since there's no YouTubes on it, you have to ask their support and hopefully their support is alive and awake and moving, right? So it's just, pluses and minuses of both. All right, so let's move to cart software.
Oh my gosh. So this is one of my favorite programs. I put the link down there. It's called ThriveCart. And I got it. I know. Really, anyone who has used ThriveCart, they're going to be like, I love it. And they've just added on things. So it makes it even better. Okay. So here's why I love ThriveCart. I'll tell you why I bought it and why I had a client sign up for it a couple of years ago, because they were doing a high-end coaching program. And they were about to charge, I think it was $3,000 or $4,000, and they wanted to do payment programs, right? So at the time they were doing it with a different software. Maybe it was just PayPal or Stripe. But when they wanted to do those payment programs, they understood that they were going to pay an extra 3 to 5% of the income in those subscription fees. And at $3,000 to $5,000 a program, let's say you want to sell at least 10 or 15 of those in a month, you are then paying thousands of dollars in subscription fees that you really don't want to give away that money. You're getting money in, you want to keep as much of it as you can. So what ThriveCart can do is ThriveCart can eliminate any need for those extra fees. So if you want to charge a payment program, that's fine. Whatever you charge minus the Stripe fees is what you're going to bring home. You're not paying additional money for somebody to manage a subscription. But I need to go back and tell you a little bit more about ThriveCart in general. So if you signed up for the Wealthy Healer Summit from wealthyhealers.com, you know what ThriveCart is because you've already seen a checkout. You went through it, you clicked, you entered in your information, and that was all on ThriveCart. What ThriveCart gives you the opportunity to do is build funnels. So you can have a landing page, you can have a video sales page, or you can have a sales cart. You can put everything that you need to communicate about your program, videos, images, text, etc., right on that page. People are then able to click through and you can add what they call upsell or bumps, which is a big part of any funnel, right? Because you kind of want to play on the psychology of the sale and you want to get the momentum of the sale. So with a bump or an upsell, what you're just doing is you're giving an offer. You're giving them all the information. You're getting your client to say yes. They click the yes button and you give them another offer of absurd value. You say, okay, you said yes a little bit. Let me give you $200 off this program. Do you want to say yes again? And you can actually set up a number of these little bumps or these upsells within your funnel. And what's amazing about using this sort of technology is that you're really playing into somebody that you know is already into it. I don't consider myself a great salesperson. Like it's something that I have to work on, right? But Shiraz, he's my business partner. We work together and he loves it, and I remember a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a link and he was like, this person, he was like, you have to see this funnel. And I looked at it, it was a ThriveCart funnel, obviously. And it was that sort of thing where it was offer after offer after offer, but you didn't feel like you were being nagged at or sold to. It was like every single one was a gift or an opportunity.
Wow. Okay.
We're like, oh my God, yes, I do want that. Yes, I do want that. Oh, oh, did you know I wanted that too? And it was
I
just
didn't even know I wanted that. Now I do.
exactly. And that sort of thing is a sweet spot to get into people. And when you're building funnels, that's the sort of momentum that you want to be building, because, the whole point of the funnel is to call in those ideal people that you want to work with and funnel them through so that they start working with you. So I love Thrivecart. And then recently they've made it even better because, okay, so I think I want to go back and I want to say there's Thrivecart, there's Samcart, there's ClickFunnels, there's Lead Pages, and there's a couple other ones, but those are like the big main sort of funnel softwares that you've got out there. Now, Thrivecart is a one-time fee. Remember, I'm allergic to the monthly subscriptions. So Thrivecart, you pay once. I paid for my account 3 or 4 years ago. It has paid for itself. I mean, it paid for itself in the first month, but since then, like every time I see someone who's like, oh, I just have to pay my $159 to Samcart this month, I'm like, sucker. I paid that years ago and I don't pay anybody else for my funnel software ever again.
Well, I do adore Thrivecart on so many levels, but you're right. You pay one time $500 or $700. We highly recommend the $700 buy-in because you get unlimited affiliate links and everything. So you pay one-time fee and then you're done. Now, ClickFunnels is also a power horse, right? They're really, really good. They've been around a long time. They are good at what they do. They're famous out there, but sometimes famous is not always fantastic, right? But they're very, very famous out there and they're good. They are good at what they do. But in order to get the functionality, part of the functionality of what's available in the Thrivecart purchase, you have to pay $197 or $297 a month. So your ClickFunnels is basically paid for in 3 or 4 months. You're totally right. It pays for itself very, very quickly. As soon as I learned that ClickFunnels was going to be like hundreds per month, I was like, this is not cool. I'm like, how do I get myself out of that? $97 a month. I was like, all right, it's kind of worth it. But then after that, I was like, no, how do I get out?
And it's the same thing with Samcart. They've got a lot of the similar functionalities of Thrivecart, but they've got that monthly fee thing. So I think, one second, I have a question. Oh, and it's a good thing because I was about to start talking about it. Thank you, Rosemary. Okay.
There's a couple in here, so keep going.
Yep. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was that last month or the month before, Thrivecart became perfect. So before Samcart and ClickFunnels, they had something that Thrivecart didn't offer, and that was an online course or an online software building capability. So you could run your course, you could, offer the sales page through Thrivecart. They click through, they're automatically entered right into Thrivecart into the course, and that was making them the equivalent of ClickFunnels and of Samcart because they had those features before. So I have a question here from Rosemary, and she says, "Is it that you sell?" Oh, she's actually just telling what I should have said minutes ago. She is saying that you can just sell these password protected courses. In fact, my VIP bonus is business templates that I have in my company. They're spreadsheets and Canva templates, and I've actually included some Thrivecart checkout templates, because one thing I would say with Thrivecart is that they don't have an awful lot of options of templates to choose from, but I've gone ahead and solved that problem. I created some templates. I included the link, and you just click and you can install them into your Thrivecart account really fast. So,
okay. Don't look at the chat. I got it.
I can't do it all. I can't get it all cooked.
You're awesome. Okay. So the learning management program, Rosemary also said that you can sell password protected courses. Okay, great. So yes, great opportunity. Have you used that platform yet to be able to do Learn? It's called Learn. Have you used it yet?
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. If you sign up for my VIP, if you're a VIP and you get the VIP, you're going to get this chance to look right in Thrivecart, because I put all of my links through a course there. So you can go ahead and look at the process, look at how it works, and and get some Thrivecart checkouts yourself.
Awesome. And it's all tied together, so you don't have to get those APIs and get them talking to each other. But it's like platforms like Thinkific, Teachable, and all of those other platforms. If you have courses out on Udemy, that's their platform, and you're paying them for the privilege of having it out there. And other people can buy other people's stuff on those platforms. This is your platform. You keep it all in one, and you already paid for it when buying Thrivecart, so you get all of it in the same place. I haven't used it myself yet, but I'm super excited. My team is going to get on it. Like in 2022, we have a ton of courses that we got to get on there. So awesome. Okay, so let's move from, because this is such a powerful thing, let's move to learning management platforms. Any comments on Teachable, Thinkific, any of those others besides Thrivecart?
Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think I have a problem. I really have a problem with monthly fees. So when I think about those, I'm like, oh my God, you have to pay every month. And the problem I have with that, especially with online courses, is that a lot of the time you want to give lifetime access, right? So that you're giving out a course, you're telling them it has lifetime access, but it's attached to you constantly paying this monthly fee in order for it to remain on the internet. And what if in 3 or 4 years you don't want to do that anymore? You're kind of in this really awkward spot. So when you're going with things like Thrivecart, or I've gotten a couple off of Appsumo, like I was saying before, they've got some online course management software you can get with one-time fee. What's nice is you can go ahead, set it all up. You've got your course. I did a course last year with something called a Cadle I got off of Appsumo. So I was able to set up the course, do everything, and then just walk away. And I know in 20 years, it should still just be there on the internet.
Really?
And it's
Okay.
not requiring anything from me. And I think I paid a one-time fee of $49 to get the Cadle in total. And I could launch more courses on that as well. But my desire was just, if I'm going to launch this course and I want people to have access to it for as long as possible with technology or what have you, then let's go with a one-time fee on something, and then we can just set it up, set it for life, and it just runs.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk about productivity and calendars, and then we'll get into quizzes. So let's talk about productivity software. What about Asanas and other programs online? What's the other one that's online that everybody uses? There's so many out there.
I love Trello.
Trello, that's the one. Trello. Okay, let's talk about them.
Okay, so these are great. They're great tools. They really are. They, to be honest, most of the summit was automated with a Trello board. People come in, they get their own little card speakers on the thing, and we'd move them from list to list as we've gotten through things. And it was all tied to automation. So it was a great gift to be able to do that. The software that you would choose is based on the use of what you're wanting. So like when you're getting something like Airtable, like you've got Airtable, you've got Asana, you've got Trello, you've got Mondays, seeing someone's mentioning Basecamp, which I'm not as familiar about, but you've got these sort of project management calendars or project management softwares. What you need to know is a list of what do you want to do with it, right? Because it's a general project management. What does that mean? What do you want to do with it? And you want to choose one that connects to automation softwares like Zapier, because if not, then it's useless. And I definitely know that Trello, Asana, and Mondays and Airtable connect with Zapier, because I've used those connections myself. Some of them have paid programs once, like with Airtable, and I think with Asana as well. They give you a really limited taste, and then they're going to start charging you. And I think the reason that you want to be aware of this going in is because once you've invested a year or 6 months into a program and you're using it, you're going to want to upgrade to the subscription. So you want to know what all those details are. Don't just look at what has a free program and say that's working for me today, because you want to know if something's going to be working for you in 2 years as well. But yeah, the big thing that I think when you're using these softwares, what you want to do is say, what is my purpose with managing this? Like when I was doing the summit, and I'm using Trello, and I've got all of these Trello cards for an application that comes in, and I move it over if I want them to have a blog interview, and I move it if I want them to have.
We might be moving fast for some people. So productivity software is designed to keep you organized in the tasks that you have to do during your week, right? So if you're going to put on a summit, you need to contact speakers. You need to figure out your software. You need to get tech support. You need to figure out who's going to be doing the interviews. You need to be doing all of these different little bundle pieces. Maybe you have to organize the gifts that people are giving. Maybe you have to figure out a VIP. Maybe you have to find a place to have people be able to access for free and then purchase. So there's all these moving parts. And you can imagine that with anything. It's the same as you've decided to put on a wedding for your daughter, right? Lots of moving parts. When you have that, a productivity software is designed to help you with that. Now, Asana, Trello, Teamwork, Mondays, Basecamp, those kinds of programs are out there and available for people who want to use them. So we're just talking about what the advantages and disadvantages of each one are. So Courtney loves Trello because it's free.
It's free. I mean, there's upgraded. I think I'm actually a premium member. So there's upgraded options. They wanted custom fields and you have to pay for those. And I like my custom fields. But a lot of these programs, I think the only one that I'm aware of that isn't free might have been Mondays and Basecamp, and maybe Asana. But majority of them have.
Asana's not free. I don't think it's free.
Yeah, the majority of them have a free program. Asana, Mondays, and Basecamp might have just a small paid option for that, but they're great for teams. They're great for communicating with lots of people, to be able to see the information in front of everyone, be able to comment on what you're up to, what so-and-so is up to, and get that sort of lifetime view of what your projects are at.
What do you love about Trello compared to the other ones?
And so Trello is cards on a list. And what's really nice about it is it's a visual, where I find, like, if I'm using a spreadsheet, it's very text, and with Trello, I mean, I can add GIFs, which I really like, so I could have like sparkly things moving when I look at the board. It's very pretty, so it's visually nice. But then also what I like is sometimes it's as easy as moving one card from one list to another. So it's a very simple movement in order to organize your things. You're not doing as much I guess because I'm an actor, sometimes when things look like they're really businessy, I feel like out of place, and I'm like, oh. So with Trello, I feel like it's more my thing because it doesn't look businessy. It doesn't even really look absurdly professional, but it makes sense to my mind. So moving those lists from one to another really helps.
Yeah, I see them like Post-it notes, right? Like you have a Post-it note and you're like, needs to be done, right? But now it's in the doing category and then it's in the done category. Or, it's like, it's off my plate, it's onto Courtney's, and now Courtney's taking it. Now she's going to move it to Shiraz's plate. And after Shiraz deals with it, he's going to move it to Mercy's plate or somebody on our team, right? Like, and so moving the card, the information all stays there, but you just move it down and you can visually watch the process finish, almost like you're not doing the work. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a really fun thing to use, which I think is why I like it the best. I actually have seen some cool ways in which you can communicate information, not just for yourself in project management, but for clients. I've had a few coaching programs where I've been a part of where they've given out a template of a Trello board to build your business plan, or they've given out a template of Trello board to brand your business. And because they're able to organize their information in this visual way, I think their customers and their clients are able to understand what they're saying well. So it's not even just project management. It can also be used as a resource to give the people that you're working with.
Ooh, I like that. All right. So in that same vein, we're going to talk about calendars. Also, I promised we'd talk about quizzes. And then Robin just brought up something about websites. Like, where do we put our website? Maybe WordPress or Wix, or what you recommend. I know it's not going to be Wix, but we're going to keep going if you guys have questions about those. So let's start with calendars and then we'll go to quizzes.
Okay. So with calendars, I mean, you've got your three basics, plus if you get an all-in-one, it might include a calendar, but let's ignore the all-in-ones and let's go with our three basics, because we've got Calendly, we've got Acuity Scheduler, and I'm adding in the third one because it's cheap, which is the TidyCal I had mentioned before, because the TidyCal is a one-time fee of $29. So that's why I canceled my Calendly subscription and went with TidyCal, because I was saving those monthly fees. What you want in a scheduling software, you might have very specific needs for your business. And if so, you have to look at those separately, but most people want people to be able to book an appointment with them that is synced with their current calendar, so that people can't book an appointment when you're already busy, or they can't double book appointments. And then you want the program to be able to send call reminders and links and hook up to your Zoom or your Google Meet, and then that way be able to send those links to the client as well. So, Acuity, Calendly, I think Calendly looks better than Acuity. So that was, I think, why I was with Calendly versus Acuity. Acuity Scheduler is really unique in its offerings of reoccurring appointments. That's something the other softwares are not offering. So like I said, if you have very specific needs, you might find that Acuity has a few extra features, but it's also twice the cost on those premium features as something like Calendly. But wholeheartedly, TidyCal, the one that from Appsumo that I was mentioning before, it is, it's cheap. Their customer service is amazing. If you have to contact them, they're right on it, and it's a one-time fee. So that is definitely the one that I would recommend starting to look at, because like I said, I'm allergic to those monthly fees.
I love it. All right. So let's move to quizzes. I love quizzes. I always want to find out like which Friends character am I? Or I want to find out like which dog most represents which spirit animal am I, right? Or which dog most closely represents my personal style, right? Like those kinds of quizzes. How fun is that, right? So when you can gamify your website and you can get people playing with you, awesome. By the way, I'm working on a which Game of Thrones character are you in it's gonna be totally awesome. We're gonna love it. But that said, which quiz software should I build it in?
Okay. So, I mean, the one out there that everyone knows and everyone loves is Typeform. Like that is in my opinion.
I didn't know that one. Okay. Tell me about Typeform.
Typeform, it just looks cool. I mean, it's a quiz software. It's each question takes up a screen on the page. You answer the question, you hit the button, and it leads you to the next one. Visually, from a design perspective, you can tell what quizzes are done in Typeform because they're gorgeous. Like they just look cool. So I would say Typeform is definitely up there. There's a few competitors that have come. I think there's one called Paperform, which is out there, which looks like Typeform, but it's half the price per month, which is, nice, right? I know the one I use, and I keep going back to Appsumo, but it's just literally because it's a gift to humanity when you're buying softwares. I got one called Marquiz.io on, and I mean, it was great. I think I paid $40 or $50 for it, months ago, and I've been able to use it. It actually looks a lot like Typeform, which was what stole my heart, where I was like, oh, you're beautiful, because things aren't always beautiful. So yeah, that was the Typeform. If you're going out and you're wanting to try something out, I would start there. Paperform, I believe, is the next kind of.
What was it called? It's Marquiz.io, is that right? MARQUIZ.io. Okay.
Yeah, Marquiz.io is pretty amazing as well. So that's good. What you want in a quiz software, because you're talking about like a Game of Thrones quiz, you have to have something what they call logical conditioning. And so when the reason you wouldn't want to do quizzes on Google Forms or any of the free options that are out there is they're not going to have that logical conditioning. So with logical conditioning, it's understanding if you answer A on question number 1 and you answer B on question number 2, that means that you're more likely to be, you know what I mean, the Dragon Queen on Game of Thrones, perhaps,
I'm not going to tell you who I am, but I did do my own and it came out right.
Okay. That is great. So that's what you want to look for, is that logical conditioning. And that's why we're paying premium price for doing these sorts of quiz softwares, because they've built that sort of thing in. But the cool thing about it is once you hook it up to automation. So I actually have, we're going to go on a side note, but it's just because I want to tell you how cool the technology is. So I've got this side project that I've been working on for a few months now, where I can have clients and actually, okay, I'm going to start back. So a few months ago, I tried to donate to a food bank in my local area, and they had the crappiest website and they didn't even have a donate button. And I was like, guys, you're leaving money on the table and you're a nonprofit with really important service to offer. So please don't leave money on the table. So what I wanted to do was think, okay, if I know how to design a website, what would be a way, because I really don't want to contact a whole bunch of nonprofits and offer my services for free. I mean, I'm a nice person, but I'm not that nice. So I was like, so how could I get them great websites to be able to get donations? And what I started to work with was programs like Marquiz, where I was able to get their answers from a quiz that they could take and automate an entire website to be built with that.
Oh
Which
my
I mean,
gosh.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing because then what I'm in the process of doing is building a robot that will go find these websites on the internet and send them a message to be like, your website sucks, but please do not worry about it. We have a free website for you so that you can go on and do great things in the world. But with that conditional logic, you're able to take what people's answers are and through Zapier, feed them into PDFs. You could feed them into images. You could feed it into specified email responses. And that sort of work allows you to really niche down on who you're talking to. And then that way you're giving them the best offers for them instead of just generally throwing out your offers to everyone.
Well, I love that. Okay, so if you guys love quizzes, then definitely check out Quiz and some of the others. What highlights would you recommend for people that are just starting out on a quiz?
What highlights?
Sorry. Or which software? Quiz, or is there another one also?
No, I think Quiz is really solid. Like, I mean, if you're getting it on Appsumo, Quiz for a one-time fee, like I did it months ago. I have not regretted my choice. And I definitely wouldn't recommend, like I recommend Typeform, but I wouldn't recommend paying that much each month for it.
Got it. All right. Let's talk next about websites. Like, how do people, you were just referring to that, like build an entire website. Do you recommend WordPress? What do you recommend for your website?
Yeah. Okay. So first off, I think I want to go back to this idea of Thrivecart, because if you're at the point where you do not have a website, but you want to put offers out in the world, grab a Thrivecart account, make your website one of those sales cards and save yourself the hassle right off the bat of feeling like you need to pay out for a website. Then that gets me to my second point, which is a website is an investment and it is not something that you want to cut out on. You want to make sure that you're working with somebody who knows the best sort of softwares to grab, because so people go out and they want to build their own website with Wix, right? Or Weebly. And Squarespace, it's a little different, but we're going to put that in this group of website sort of builders. And the problem with it is that once your website on Wix or your website on Weebly, it's owned by Wix or Weebly. You don't get the ability to download it somewhere and then bring it to another website. So what I find happens so often with clients, and it's heartbreaking, is that they will go ahead and they'll invest on Weebly or Wix and they'll be there for 2 or 3 years and they will put blogs out like you would not believe. They've got hundreds of blogs, they've gotten traffic, they've gotten everything great, except for eventually Wix or Weebly will let you down. It won't have the features that you evolve into as a business owner. And you have this heartbreaking thing that you have to do where you have to hire someone, build an entire website again, and pay for them to transfer over your information. And it's just not a great place to start. It really isn't, when something like WordPress is, it maybe has a little tiny bit of a learning curve if you're doing it yourself. But if you're hiring out a VA, you're hiring out a web designer, that's what 80% of the websites on the world are made of, is WordPress. So you're getting someone who has a huge experience. There's lots of YouTube videos, I guess I should say. If you get caught, you can go to YouTube, you can type in WordPress, and there are just so many different things. Plus WordPress has plugins. Not all of them are paid. So when you're doing something like Squarespace, okay, you want to all of a sudden add like a store, an online store. They're like, oh, that's cool. Like, let's just give us an extra $15 a month. You know what I mean? And that's how that works. But when you're on WordPress, you want to add an online store. They're like, oh, cool. Just install this free plugin called WooCommerce. You're not paying extra just to be able to get more capabilities. Now, there are times in WordPress where you're like, oh, I'm going to add an online course management, LearnDash, or something like that. And you're going to pay for it as a one-time fee to get the software, but it's not going to be added on as a monthly fee the way that you get in Wix and Weebly and in Squarespace.
All right, awesome. What about, since we're talking about Convertbox and we're singing its praises, I'm sorry, Thrivecart, when singing its praises, let's talk about Convertbox, which is actually a bolt-on.
Amazing.
I love Convertbox so freaking much. It's my new favorite.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. In fact, I should get my freebie from yesterday. It's not as relevant, but if you didn't grab it, you should. Again, and we'll put it down because it's a Convertbox form that you fill out in order to get their freebie. So what Convertbox is it's basically how you can put your lead magnets out into the world, right? It's a software where you either make it as a page on its own or you embed it into your website, and people put in their email address, they put in their information, they hit submit. And then the next step, you either say, we're going to email you, or you can actually lead them to the link that you want to go. So with my automation workbook the other day, yesterday, what I did was a form, and people put in their email address, they put in their name, they hit submit, and then the next page brings them to a PDF that they can download. And then at the same point, Convertbox emails me and it adds their list to my CRM in charge, like I was saying, and there it goes. And that sort of software in itself is absurdly powerful, right? Because it's got countdowns, it's got all of these sorts of things that you need. It's owned by the same people as Thrivecart, which is great because these are like some marketing dudes who are spending their lives to try and say, okay, how can we get more sales and more conversions? So they've got that energy going on, and then they're creating these services that are based on that, and they're trying to get them further. What I love the most about Convertbox, though, because I should actually grab my link so that I can give you guys to go to Convertbox, but my very, very favorite thing about
so actually what they put in the chat, Mercy, is a miracle worker. She went and found your automation worksheet from last week. So if you click on that, you can actually see an example of an automation. Is that correct?
That's correct. You can see an example of a Convertbox that you can go out and exactly how it works. You just fill out that form, and then you're able to get the PDF immediately. And the PDF is still good. If you're a VIP, watch my talk yesterday and you can learn how to fill out that application or that workbook to automate things as well. Okay, so I will put in, this is my my link for Convertbox, so we know. And I want to tell you just about the cool thing about Convertbox, because I actually feel like it's a trend that we're going to move into in marketing and in website in general. And what they are able to do is you're able to really specify who you show that Convertbox to. So with Convertbox, you're able to say, okay, if they have visited the website 3 times, show them this form. If they've only visited the website twice, show them this form. If this is their first visit, give them this message. If it is their 18th visit, can you give them this message? And what I think that does is, like I've talked about a few times, you're able then to niche down who you are talking to. And you're able to have a more personal conversation about things that they want to hear about, not just generally throwing out all of your offers to them at once. So yeah, any type of software that's offering, what they call customer-based customizations, anything that's saying, we're going to look at what your customers are doing and then change your message or what you're saying. I mean, not your core message, but change your offerings a little to suit them. And I feel like in 5 or 6 years, we're going to have websites, but when we go to them and they will say, hey, Courtney, welcome back. How's it going? Here's what's happened since the last time you visited this website. By the way, did you check out this, this, and this? And I feel like that sort of idea of personalized marketing is where we're heading.
I love it. Okay, so Robin is asking, do you hire virtual assistants to do all this, or did they and do they do it for you, or how does that work? By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a huge fan of virtual assistants. We have had our tech hosts that are virtual assistants all this last 2 days, and they crushed it. I mean, they're so amazing. That for the difference between automation and virtual assistants is that the virtual assistants can listen and actually listen. And if it's misunderstood or whatever, you can understand what they're doing. And then we can ask them to do that. Like in the background, I was asking Mercy to go find Courtney's gift because she mentioned it, right? And then she went and found it and then brought it back and then put it in the chat. That's what a person can do for you. But I don't want to tie down my amazing virtual assistants with all the things that could be automated, right? The things that really, I don't need them to check my website every day. I don't need them to send out emails all the time, right? And hundreds of emails. They craft one email in an automated system and it sends it to the right kinds of people and not the wrong kinds of people. And they're both amazing. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I like to think of a virtual assistant as the manager, right? Like that they are the manager of what you are doing. And I think that it is absolutely important once you get to a certain, activity level in your business to have that sort of manager, someone who's going to be taking care of those things. Because I know personally, We tried some interns as virtual assistants the past few months and they did not work out. And as a result, I have been / co-hosting virtual assisting this summit, and I've made so many mistakes, that a virtual assistant wouldn't make if they were focused solely on managing, because I was focused on, speaking with speakers. I was focused on promoting the event. I was focused on all these other things. I would screw up on things like time zones. And I am quite certain a virtual assistant wouldn't have that issue. So I think that virtual assistants have an important part. And I think when you're dealing with things like Convertbox and Thrivecart, you want your virtual assistant in and doing this sort of work for you. Where you don't want your virtual assistant is probably choosing the softwares for you. I mean, they might have great input, and I would say listen to that for sure, but make sure that you're choosing the systems that you work and that you're helping them kind of in developing processes of how things are done. Because if not, then you could just end up kind of like I was saying at the beginning of this call, you're paying for 4 or 5 monthly fees, and they're literally all the same program, but you just didn't know that they could do one of them could do all of those things.
All right. I want to calm the chat down a little bit. They have said that there is no ability to save the chat because I don't know, there must be a setting switched or something like that. We heard you. We're going to fix that. We're going to have you email our support line. And if you email the support line, Courtney's Talk, we will send you all of the links that were dropped in this chat. Now I'm talking and my amazing tech team is going to make that happen in the background. That's the virtual assistant. The automation is going to be find everybody who said this and send them this email. So totally cool in life, action-packed adventure while we're doing this. I have no idea why the chat is switched off. Have you guys been able to save the chat before and it just didn't happen? It's happened on all sessions. Holy moly, we need to change that setting. Okay, so anyway, we'll look into that. Thank you for calling that to our attention. You guys are awesome. Another question that came up is about security. So what about WordPress security? Anything that we need to know?
Yeah, no, okay. The internet is full of pirates right now, and an unsecured website gets hacked. I mean, sometimes within hours. Like it is ridiculous what you need for security in general on the internet. So with WordPress, I think for some people that's their big concern is they think, oh, WordPress, it might not be secure. But like I said before, you have these plugins, right? And you make sure that you have a really good plugin and that your hosting has what they call a firewall. So between those two, then your sites are secure. Like I manage between about 50 or 60 different websites for clients that I've built or just websites of my own. And I've had 2 websites hacked, and each time those websites have been hacked, it's because the security software wasn't turned on. So you have that security software on, you're really safe. But without that security software, you do have to worry because people will hijack your website. And then every time someone types in your domain, they end up on this weird casino website and they don't know what's going on. And then they have bad pop-ups for a week and they blame you for it. So you definitely want to have a good security software on your website.
What do you recommend?
You know what I do? Actually, I'll get a link for it because it's an amazing resource if you're running websites. And I am a part of something called WPMU. And what it is I think I'm giving you some of my secrets here. I might not seem as cool, but really what they do is they provide unlimited.
You are very cool. If anybody thinks Courtney is cool, please put it in the chat box. Courtney is very cool. She is so cool that she knows all this stuff. Very cool. Super gifted. Totally awesome. Okay, great. Yes, I totally love you guys. Thanks.
Oh, thank you guys. So what I do is I'm a part of a program called WPMU. And what they offer is they offer programs where they have complete plugins that you would use. So one of them is a security plugin. One of them is actually a quiz software plugin that you can put just on your website. So they've got these cool plugins that you use for free, but then they also offer 24-hour a day, 7-day a week support. And it's not just support on hosting or support on this sort of thing. It is quite literally support on anything related to your website. So when I am busy, there are times where I'm just like, no, go over to WPMU and just ask them in the chat what we should do. Or anytime something has come up, I've been able to say, okay, what are we supposed to do? And contact them within 10 to 15 minutes, I'm on the chat with somebody, or I'm in the forum with somebody, and they're able to redirect the problem. So I would definitely say that. Just one second. Let me see if I can get you guys a link for that, because I think they've got
Okay, while you're getting that, I'm going to say that we're at time, overtime. Up next, we have Dr. L, it's all right, I went over time on mine too. Building Your Legacy, and Kara James talking about the importance of having a unique core program that helps you stand out. I know Dr. L, that's going to be an amazing talk. Kara James, also amazing. Hope you guys have a wonderful next session. It's going to be off the hook, fantastic. Jocelyn is asking, do you run a class for new businesses to learn about technology? Yes, upgrade to be a VIP, and then you're going to get totally awesome stuff. And you're going to be able to start your business. That's what this entire summit is all about. Upgrade to VIP. You're going to get a ton of stuff and workshops tomorrow and all kinds of things that you totally need. Unfortunately, we're at time. So before we let you go, Courtney, I know you can try and get that link in there. Good luck. We'll email it to you. How's that? Okay, we'll email it to you with all the links from this entire chat, because we need to get that out to you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about the glitch. It's actually a Zoom thing. It's not our settings. We're working on that for the next session. But before we let you go, any final words for our crew?
So just a little bit on how you can connect. So if you are not a VIP, I recommend it. And the main reason I do is that next week, Shiraz and we're doing this technology mindset course. I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to talk more about how you literally set up automations in your business. So I feel like it's a lot to offer.
Totally awesome. So those of you who are VIPs are going to totally get a screaming deal. I'm super excited. We'll see you guys back at the top of the hour. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
That was awesome, Courtney. Everybody loved you.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session of the Wealthy Healers Summit, where our mission is to empower healers of all types so that they can be in purpose and profit. For recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP gift bundle full of courses and resources from our knowledgeable speakers, upgrade to VIP. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, email our support team at support@wealthyhealers.com. Stay tuned, we have another fantastic speaker coming right up.